April Reed here, and you're listening to the Webinar Hustlers Entrepreneur Podcast, episode 41. Now, this episode is going to be a little bit different because I asked my friend and business associate, Emily Elizabeth, she's a visibility strategist and consultant, to co-host this one with me. We teamed up to interview awesome Auguste Crenshaw, business coach. Got a business, but not making the income you expect? These 3 strategies will get you on the right track. Be about it. Oh, wait. Before we get started, little disclaimer. This episode has explicit language. I know in the previous episodes, I didn't really give a warning. Sorry. So if you have little kids, just letting you know, mayday, explicit language. All right, roll it.
Want to work less and sell more? Welcome to the Webinar Hustlers Entrepreneur Podcast, the podcast to help you scale up and take your business to the next level with webinars that sell for you. Each episode focuses on the money mindset, online marketing, and sales strategies to get you more leads and convert leads to sales, all with webinars. And now your host, business and webinar strategist, April Reed.
Okay, I am so excited to be back at the Own Your Presence Virtual Summit. I'm excited to be here today, especially with today's guest. Again, the lovely Emily is here.
Hey, yes.
So how have you been feeling about the guests we've been speaking with so far?
It's been absolutely amazing. So much knowledge has been brought, so much inspiration and helpful tips and just knowledge bombs have been dropped.
Oh, yes. Definitely the knowledge bombs. So today's guest is Auguste Crenshaw. Now, let me tell you just a little bit about Auguste for those who may not know who she is. She is a business coach who specializes in strategy, mindset, and sales. I love that because I talk about marketing, mindset, and sales. So I'm going to have to talk to her. I'm going to have to talk to you, Auguste. Okay. But anyway, she holds no bar. Thus, she is known as Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. And yes, I want to know a little bit more about that when we get to you. She knows you are a unique identifying factor in the world where it seems like any and everyone can label themselves as an entrepreneur. So true. So what she likes to do is help her clients show authentically and effectively on and offline to run a thriving, profitable, and sustainable business through genuine connection. She is empowering women to walk in their purpose. She is the founder of the Real Women Don't Bitch Summit and author of the Don't Bitch About It, Be About It. She is determined to equip women with the resources they need to be successful. And I have a feeling she is going to bring it today.
I'll plan on it.
Okay. I wouldn't expect anything less. So how about we just get started with you telling us a little background about yourself? How did you get started?
Okay, definitely. First of all, I just want to say thank you, ladies, for this opportunity. I love to blaze trails with other women, and summits are absolutely amazing. So bravo to you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So me, number one, I've been an entrepreneur for a very, very long time. I came out the womb trying to make some money one way or another. But I initially started my business in high school as a cosmetologist. And over the years, some transitions morphed me into the coaching arena. I did a drastic move from my hometown in St. Louis, Missouri to Houston, Texas, with no idea of what I was going to do, some soul searching, some mindset work. And I'm like, you've been coaching people all your life, because that's just the natural thing that typically comes with being a cosmetologist. And I started off as a life coach because it seemed like it was the obvious step, but I never really paid attention to the high level of business acuity that I had. And I didn't really value my degree in business admin. And I didn't know what was going on, but I kept attracting these women who had these visions and these goals, and it was always entrepreneurial. And so my calling called me out. And I jumped into the business arena. And once I made that transition, then my business started booming. And that's how I got to where I am today. And I just happened to go through a lot of really bad investments and poor experiences online. and I'm highly sensitive to the challenges that women go through in establishing a business, which is why I work so hard on strategy, mindset, and sales, because you need all of them if you're going to make it.
Definitely, definitely. So I know you work with women, but are they particular women that you work with? Like, so who's your ideal client avatar?
Oh, absolutely. Most of the women that I work with, they're new in business. Now, not brand spanking new where we have to file LLCs and do stuff like that. They're usually new as being established. They've jumped out there and taken the nesty plunge. They're go-getters. And they were like, hey, I'll give this a shot. But they have a hard level with getting traction. And some of those women, they may not be beginners. They may have even been in business for 10 years, but somewhere around that 3 to 5 year mark, they hit a plateau and they haven't been able to graduate from that point. So for the new woman in business, or the woman who kind of feels like she's still in that new season of business that can't expand, that's the one I typically work with. Are they usually, the target data, married with children, stuff like that? Yes. But I found that overall, they're usually around 35 to 45-ish. They kind of gotten that epiphany, like this employee thing.
Yep. That's me.
Is not for me. I've been building somebody else's dream for a long time, and I will not leave this earth and let what is inside of me die.
Yes, love that.
In your experience, what do people find the most difficult and why?
I'm going to be honest with you. Most people find it difficult literally just to get attraction, to identify those people and to get them to come to them. I find that people feel like, well, somebody told me find a problem and then just say that I'm the solution. And the reason why they can't attract people is because they don't realize they are the unique identifying factor. Because everybody is an entrepreneur, or everybody is a health coach. Everybody's a business coach. There's a plethora of people out there. And you have to show up as who you are in order to attract the people that you're designed to work with. But because there's a heavy mindset issue with accepting yourself the way you are, because most likely we weren't celebrated and we were raised to be humble or to be more passive and not be too haughty or vain, then that's where that glitch comes. But once they can at least attract the kind of women that they're supposed to work with, they can fumble through the rest. Now, I don't want you to fumble through your packaging, your pricing and all of that stuff. But a lot of women are just like, I just want someone to buy my stuff. I want people to come to me in droves. I'm tired of this hit or miss in my business. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
When I was starting out, I started out as a business coach because that's the course I took. It was the easiest. It was all laid out. I struggled because a lot of it just didn't fit my personality. So I kind of rebranded into the tech world of webinars, and everything changed.
Yeah, you found yourself and you found what worked. And what a lot of people do is they try to see what's working and put themselves into it.
Right.
And that's a major breakdown that a lot of women have to realize, because I don't care if you want to make a frog figurines. If you really truly feel it in your spirit, you're supposed to make frog figurines, there is a market out there for you. But how you get there, it's not in having eloquent marketing speech. How you get that attraction and that attention, it doesn't come from that. It comes from you connecting with people. All of it's important. Don't get it twisted. All of it's important. But if you can't show up as who you are to make that connection, then you'll just be like a lot of people. I don't get it. I made an Instagram page and I post my pictures of my products every day on there. I go live on Facebook. I was scared as hell, but I do it anyway. I post on a regular basis. I am on LinkedIn, and you see people exhausting themselves trying to be on social media platforms or going to 1,000,001 networking events, doing anything they can online and offline to gain traction, but they don't even really know who they are. And I don't think they really realize how solidified the Lexus dealer is, the Walmart store is. They know who they are, what they want, why they're doing it, who they're after. And a lot of women get into entrepreneurship because they're just frustrated. What can I take? What can I do? What can I learn to make some money so I don't have to work for someone else? As opposed to really saying, no, I'm a rock star. and the world needs to know who I am. We're counterintuitive because think about it, like the little girl in the dress. If she comes in and says, hey, mommy, look at me, I look so cute. I don't know about you guys, but the era that I came from, it was like, well, sweetie, yeah, you are cute, but you should really allow someone else to tell you that you're cute, and then you say thank you. And so you women, it's counterintuitive of us to be proud of who we are and to realize that we're that unique identifying factor. Boys, on the other hand, they're told, go out there, beast, be on football, baseball, basketball, get the championships, win first place. We raise them to be competitive. Women, we're raised to be humble. And it's counterproductive to entrepreneurship.
Yes. You got me on 2 of those accounts. Totally.
So what would you say are a few of the keys to success?
Okay. Number one, let me just compliment your question, because I've had people say, what is the key to success? And the bottom line is that there is no one thing. Number one, you got to have clear focus. You absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, need to know what you're supposed to do. Pick a horse and ride it. And wrapped in that would also be the ability to forgive yourself if you have to kind of tweak that plan a little bit. But you got to commit to something. Most people don't commit. They try something for a little bit. It doesn't work. They hurry up and switch gears. But there's a refinement in the process to committing. Number 2 is, once you commit to something, then you need to do mindset work. You have to understand that anyone who wants to thrive in the entrepreneurial arena, you need to realize that you have to come to terms with who you are. You have to look at who you are spiritually, personally, and professionally, because they're all connected. You need to be intentional about revamping your mind, because this system that we are raised in, this world that we are raised in, it raises you to be an employee. It raises you to take information in and then let it out to become something. But entrepreneurship is about what's inside of you that needs to come out in order to become something. And so being willing to be open and to go through a metamorphose in your mind is imperative. Number 3, respect where you are. If you're a DIYer and you cannot afford coaching, then no crying, no tears. Then you DIY the hell out of it and you respect where you are. And if that means there's a lot more trial and error that you can't prevent from hiring a coach, but you get out there and you stay the course. If you do just those 3 things right there, it's going to happen. But it may take you 2 years compared to somebody else's 6 months, or 7 years compared to somebody else's 3 years. But you've got to keep your foot to the flame. And whatever you do, don't look for the easy way out. I know that there are a lot of coaches out there that are telling you they have 6 steps to 6 figures in 6 days or 6 months. They don't tell you about those variables that exist and all the stuff that people did before then. And there really is no such thing as overnight success. The real gurus who have integrity are going to tell you how you have to push through the thick of it. Pushing through the thick of it is where you become the champion. It's where you develop the muscle. All of this at the end of the day is pretty much coming down to one thing of mindset. And then the rest of the disciplines will add on from there, from creating products and strategies, learning the skill sets of sales and all of those other things. But doing all of that is a game changer for a person to be able to make it as an entrepreneur.
Now, did I tell y'all we had an awesome show today?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you are amazing. You are phenomenal.
Thank you, darling.
I'm just over here trying to soak in everything that you're dropping.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
all.
I'm taking notes. So step 1, you need to commit. You need a clear focus. Step 2, you got to work on that mindset. And I think the sad part about mindset is nobody starts. I say this all the time on my podcast and Facebook. Nobody starts entrepreneurship saying, okay, I want to start a business. The first thing I'm going to go is find mindset.
No.
It's really sad that you get beat, and you're like, I bought course after course after course,
Yes.
coaches after coaches after coaches, mini courses, freebies. I should have $1 billion by now.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. $50,000 later, maybe it's my mindset. It's so sad we can't start there.
Exactly.
And then step 3 is respect where you are.
And you know what, though? I feel that we all, through the process of entrepreneurship, develop a sense of strength. It just comes with it. It just comes with the process. If you don't have it, you're going to get it.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, but I want to add something to that. And I literally did a live video on this earlier, and it goes back to this whole thing about respecting where you are. I got to be real. I call myself Raw, Real, and Relentless for a reason. And people kind of just said, take that. I said it one day, it's like, take that, run with it. Because as a coach, I refuse to sugarcoat. And sometimes I find that people that want to be entrepreneurs have the most kiddish, irrational mindsets ever. It's like your kid that's like, I can't wait till I move out so I can stay out late. I hate this curfew stuff. And then when they get free and they go live on their own and they got to have a job so they can pay their bills, then they realize that, oh, I want to go to the club this weekend, but I got to go to work in the morning. And then they realize that what they wanted really, that they weren't being realistic. And so I hear a lot of women and men too say, yeah, I want to be an entrepreneur so I can create my life to be the way I want it to be, so I can sleep late and I can go to the beaches and I can do all of this stuff. And then as soon as they become an entrepreneur, then it's like, what do you mean? How often do I have to show up online? Or I feel like I'm working more hours working for myself than, I was for anybody else. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Before you became an entrepreneur, you gave somebody else a minimum of 40 hours a week. On average nowadays, especially if you have kids and you got to drop them off at daycare, the average adult spends 2 hours in traffic getting to and from work. You are giving up 240 hours of your life every month. And then you cry if you work more than 4 hours a day on your own business. And what kind of sense does that make? You were willing to blood, sweat, and tears, have panic attacks, cry in your car on the way to work for someone else. But if you really love what you're doing, does it really feel like work? And I remember those days where I was putting in 10, 12 hours a day. I was doing anything to show up. I'll be real. A lot of it was survival mode because I did what you're talking about. Let's be real, April, that I opted in for that mastermind. It was $3,000 a month with a little bit of change I had and couldn't afford to pay for it. So they kicked me out. Thank you, Lord. And embraced it, because I couldn't afford it. And then I paid $1,000 for this course and $300 for this course. And I did these freebies and I was sitting in my computer 8 hours a day. And I'm looking like, where's the money? All the credit cards are maxed out. I'm going to have to file bankruptcy. How in the world am I going to pay my rent? And the last thing I had time for was to whine, bitch, gripe, or complain about how many hours I'm working in my business. I don't have to do that now because I've graduated, but we're talking about 2016 August versus 2018 August. It's not about paying your dues and that you have to suffer, but because we will do anything for our dreams, we have a tendency to make irrational decisions and make investments. And because people talk a lot of this woo-woo bullshit, even though the law of attraction is real, but it's like, oh, just think your way to success. And if you invest $10,000 with me, then that's putting out to the universe that somebody will invest $10,000 with you, and your broke ass can't even identify your ideal client. You're not going to make any money. You're going to be sitting there desperate, and you're thinking that the investment is going to be your ROI, when in all actuality, your mindset and the implementation and the clarity is going to be your ROI. So what? If you work a little longer than usual to get your business off the ground, do what you got to do to solidify that foundation, and eventually what you want will be created. But you're not just going to get freedom just like that. As a matter of fact, as an entrepreneur in the beginning, you're going to do a whole lot more work working for yourself than you did working for someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're the accounting department, the marketing department, the janitor. What else? Payroll, HR.
Hello. You're everything. You wear all those hats.
Exactly. And all those, the perks, they come in the end. But in the beginning, it's like, are you ready for them sleepless nights, or them nights where you're up until, 2, 3 in the morning getting services and contracts and proposals written out, and learning how or figuring out how you're going to do your marketing, to figure out how you're going to set up your invoice systems, to all of that other stuff that come along with it. And then all the perks in the end will come. But are you ready for the challenge that will arise first?
Yeah, because it's about conditioning.
Okay, so all right. So I love the 3-step process you laid out about the committing, the mindset, and the respect. But what simple things can somebody do right away to just get started with implementing those steps?
Okay. So number one, I would challenge somebody to just take a little bit of time to clarify beyond a shadow of a doubt that you know what you're supposed to do. I know that everybody may not be a fan of journaling, but go ahead and pull out a notebook and ask yourself some very basic questions. Why do I want to do this? How would I feel if I didn't do it anymore? If I had to do this for free, or have I been doing this for free all my life and I just didn't realize it? Just so you can get it and flush it out. Because when you put the pen to the paper, there's something romantic about how subconscious things flow from you. When you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are clear, then all I want you to do, if you have to, get in front of a mirror, maybe even record yourself on the device. And I want you to picture yourself having girlfriend level, uncensored conversation about who you are and what you have to offer. And then re-listen to that. Let it play in your ears. Let it play in your subconscious, and understand that that is the mindset and that's the foundational core of how you're going to market yourself, because you don't have a budget, because you don't have ad spend, because you cannot create the right graphics. You don't have branding colors. You don't have all of this stuff that I know that April will probably put you on point with it. You don't have any of those things other than your message. Then pick the platform where it appears that you will get the highest level of traction and laser focus. If it's IG, fine. If it's LinkedIn, fine. If it's Facebook, fine. And the scariest thing for you, for instance, if it's Facebook and it's doing live video, get out there and share your story. And people will come to you. If it does nothing else other than give you motivation and validation that what you're doing is real, which is priceless for mindset, it will kick off that. Lock it in, have your basic structures, have faith and believe, have that PayPal link created so that when somebody comes to you, you can tell them what I've done, I can help you do, so that you can start getting some clients, so that you can start getting some money. Those few little mindset tweaks right there are game changers. You may be charging too little. You may need to do a whole bunch of other things, but who cares? Get out there right away, share your message and your story uncensored in girlfriend terminology, and people will come to you. Show up consistently and authentically, and people will come to you.
Yeah, I love that. But August, all that sounds great, but what are some of the typical challenges that stop people from actually taking the action that you just brought up?
Number one, every single woman, even the one that's come to me that is successful in business, they're afraid to go live. They're afraid to show up. They're afraid to tell their story. And you want to know why? Because wrapped up inside of your story is other people that have hurt you, that didn't believe in you, that won't support you, that you're afraid will judge you. Like, what is this thing you're doing now? And so because they're afraid of judgment, they won't show up. Because it's that aunt or that cousin that has always had something disrespectful to say to them. It's that successful relative who has the degrees that's like, what are you doing, with this online thing? Or it's the thing that maybe it was your mother. Maybe she really hurt you. And in telling your story, you don't understand how you can still tell yours and still leave your mom intact. Because it's like, for instance, especially if you're a life coach and you need to talk about coming past the pain and trauma of your upbringing. And most people are afraid to tell their story. You're also typically afraid that you will run out of content. Well, August, you're saying show up every day, show up all the time and tell my story. And you're going to be like, but I'm going to be saying the same thing every day over and over again. And aren't people going to get tired of that? And that's why you need to journal the layers of your story. You need to dissect the layers, and you need to talk about the principles and not necessarily talk about the same thing over and over again, but talk about the same topic and put it in different ways. But those are usually the two main things. You're afraid to tell your story because you're going to get judged and all of the eyeballs that are going to be on you, not realizing that those people are your clients, so they don't matter. And you're typically afraid that you are going to run out of content. Now, all of those, the thing is, like I said, you have to respect where you are in the journey. A coach like myself would help you with the strategy of coming up with the content and putting the different spin on it, and help you understand how to create short post, a long post, or post-it note post, and all of that stuff. But you're going to have to just press. Everything is rest on a decision. You have to make the decision to press. But if you don't get out there and get noticed, you won't get anything. And I want to add this one little clarifying point on there. When you share your story, you also have to put that call to action out there of why you're telling your story. Not always doing a call to action to say, buy my stuff, but saying, hey, I want to help some other people heal. If this meant something to you, message me, talk to me, put something in a comment. But you also got to get used to giving a call to action, because the one thing that some of you guys are doing is you're showing up and you're expecting people to fall at your feet. But entrepreneurship requires you to go out there and get your money. It requires you to go get the people. Pay attention to who's talking to you, communicate with them on the back end through Messenger or whatever. Make those connections so that you can start getting paid.
Exactly. And I want to add on two simple things. One, repurposing content is huge. What you talk about on Facebook Live can be turned into a blog. It can be turned into written post.
An ebook.
Yeah, which Dr. Eva Brown was talking about yesterday. There's so many different things that repurposing, Facebook Live and repurposing content can do for you. Another thing is what you were talking about mindset and about showing up and getting seen. When I went into visibility and I knew without a shadow of a doubt, this is what I'm called to do and this is what I want to do, the first thing that I did was get certified as a life coach so that I can talk to people and help women, especially, to step out and to own their presence and to show up, be seen, and remove themselves from their own shadow and get into the forefront and move themselves from behind this curtain to come into the light. Because it's a lot to do with mindset first. And once you eliminate that, then you can go ahead and build upon that. That's yeah.
Yeah. Can I say one thing really quick? Because you said something about the repurposing the content.
Ma'am.
Yeah. And I wanted to also put this nugget in there. A lot of times it's difficult for people to fathom that at the end of the day, you really are saying the same thing over and over again. I mean, but think about it. The Domino's pizza commercial, the Walmart commercial, Ford truck, whoever it is. Don't they say the same thing over and over again? Attention is what we need. It's one of the most viable commodities that's out there. You need people's attention. But when you have their attention, sometimes we forget we need to say things over and over and over and over and over again. Because you know what? While they were listening to your live video, the kid said something in the background and they turned around. Somebody typed in a comment and people were reading the comments, and so they didn't hear what you said. You have to keep embedding in people's minds, and you have to keep staying. You have to stay at the top of people's minds so that they know why you're there. And if you're not willing to say the same thing and you go to left field and you say a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that, nobody has true clarity on what your purpose is and why you are showing up. And so, yeah, you got to repurpose. And when you do keep putting all that information out there, and as people start communicating back to you, their communication is also going to give you inspiration to take that content to another level. And a lot of times it's your products and services that you will create, even if you're a little bit confused on where you go next. People will tell you what they want, and all you need to do is create it so that you can feel their need and also fill the void in your pockets.
Exactly. And there's power and consistency. There's so much power and consistency.
Absolutely.
So what sort of results can a typical entrepreneur expect if they put your system into practice?
Now, in regards to what I've just said on this podcast, it depends. There are a lot of variables that go into that. So I don't want to leave anybody on here thinking the wrong thing. If you could at least do that within about 6 months at the longest, if you can really be consistent, laser focused, be willing to do the call to actions, do the mindset work, show up, even though you're afraid, talk about the stuff, please listen to this whole thing. Don't leave anything out. Do some of all of the stuff that we talked about in this session within 6 months tops, depending on what your see, there's always those unknown variables, depending on what your following is already looking like, depending on your fear or lack thereof to actually get into a sales conversation, etc. If you can go ahead and feel the fear and do it anyway and jump, you can lock in clients easily. The only reason why I'm saying 6 months and not less than that is because most of you, everybody that's following you, they're your friends, they're your family, they're not your typical ideal client. So you got to even get your friends and family to recognize what you're saying. So they start sharing your videos or your content and tagging people so you can get ideal clients on you. Or, you got to get that attraction there. But typically, that usually takes you anywhere from 2 to 4 months while you're pressing through. But when people start seeing you, if your message is on point and you're on fire, even if your mindset and your spirit is a little weak, most people will move within 30 days and go ahead and spend some money with you. So those of you that already have a business and you are already out there, but you know that you've been hiding in the shadows, you haven't been authentic and you have the following, for you, just turning that light bulb on and speaking differently. I've seen women have changes within a week. I've seen them have people come to them and say, I need you right now, because something as simple as sharing the vulnerabilities of their story made that connection. And it really is possible for somebody to see you one time within 1 week and say, I need you. So get out there, hammer it in, respect your position. If you've already got some traction and you do the things that I'm talking about, within 30 days minimum to about 6 months, you should see a significant change in your business.
I wanted to add just a little personal story with that, what you just said. So before I decided to switch to focus on webinars, it was like, well, there's Amy Porterfield and there's so many other people that know more than what I know. And my coach said, yeah, but do you think the people who are following you or the people that are attracted to you are going to be able to afford all those people that have been doing this 10 years? And I was like, well, no, because I probably wouldn't charge that much just starting out. And she's like, no, so go out there. It doesn't matter that somebody else is doing it and somebody else knows more about it. Go do it because you're going to be attracting your own clients.
Absolutely. And not only that, it doesn't matter how much somebody knows. It matters about the connection. There's somebody that's going to listen to this and they're going to be like, oh my God, I got to cut it off, because they could have cut it off as soon as you did my intro and you said that I'm the founder of the Real Women Don't Bitch Summit. That simple level of authenticity in me is a deal maker or a deal breaker. And you have got to understand attracting is equally as important as repelling. And just for the mere fact that I cuss, it turns some people off. And some people, they're like, man, she's so raw and so real. It turns some people on. And so it doesn't matter if there's another business coach out that they can get you to quadruple your income in 2 weeks, where I've usually gotten people to quadruple their income in 30 days. They're not going to go for the person that's at 2 weeks because maybe they feel like she's too soft. There's something that doesn't resonate with their spirit. And the thing about it is, a lot of people can't even handle the stuff that some of these other business owners have. And you got to understand, you might only be 1 to 2 steps ahead of the person that needs you. Whereas Amy Porterfield or somebody else is 10 to 20 steps, and it would be too overwhelming. They need you, whoever you are listening to this right now, they need you in the position that you're at. That fact that you're just a little bit ahead of them, they can't even see that. All they know is that you know something that they don't know, and they like you and they want it and they will spend with you. That is where you eliminate the concept of competition, because there is no competition when you're being your true authentic self.
Amen.
Exactly. I had a mentor and a coach, and she taught me the same exact thing that you just said. It doesn't matter where you are in the process, because you will always be one step ahead of someone. And that's what sells you.
Yes.
And yeah,
Absolutely.
if listeners would like to get more help with this process, what services do you offer them?
Oh, absolutely. So number one, I always like people to vet coaches. I do have a free group where you can come and just get in there and get to know me, and you will get epiphanies and you'll get breakthroughs in your business there. But I encourage people that know that they want a coach and you know that you want to work with me to reach out to me, because I do group programs and I do one-to-one. I don't do a whole lot of DIY because I love the human connection in what I do. But group programming and one-to-one coaching are my two primary avenues of helping people.
Got it. So how can they get in touch with you?
Go to my website or find me on Facebook. That's the primary platform that I'm on. Everything can be found under my name, Auguste Crenshaw, with an E. So go to www.augustecrenshaw.com, AUGUSTECRENSHAW, or find me under that same name under Facebook and send me a friend request. If we don't have any mutual friends, it might help if you send me a message and just say, hey, I heard you on the Own Your Presence Summit, just so I know that I'm not getting spammed by people.
Exactly. The more you show up, the more I feel like I've been getting spammed. I promise.
Let me spell August's first name one more time, just in case somebody was, I don't know, messing around with their child. AUGUSTE.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. The E throws everybody off, but yeah, augustecrenshaw.com.
Yes, that was amazing. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.
You got me quiet. Getting me quiet is a good thing, because when I get in here and I don't say too much, that's when you know that I'm really being impacted and that I'm really carrying a lot of knowledge and, you know, a lot of bomb drops that just went off in my mind. It was amazing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you, ladies, for letting me be on your platform, and wishing you many blessings and much success, because this is amazing. Summits take a lot of work to put on, and I know that. So I love this. Thank you again.
Thank you. And it's been such a joy.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Hey, you. Have you been liking this podcast and all the webinar strategies that you're receiving? Well, I want to tell you about my new membership site. Maybe you're just a coach, consultant, or other service-based business owners like a VA or a graphic designer, and you really want to add webinars into your marketing mix so that you can sell your high-ticket coaching program or your high-ticket offers. The top 3 things that I hear from coaches, consultants, and service-based business owners is that they don't know what to teach on the webinar, so they're struggling with learning what their topic is going to be. They are technophobes, so they're scared about all the tech, and webinars seem complicated. Well, I'm happy and proud to say that the new membership site is going to address all 3 of those issues and a whole lot more. So if you're looking for the support and the accountability that you need to finally get your webinar in front of the eyes of hundreds and even thousands at an affordable price, then go to www.aprilreed.com/waitlist. Enrollment is open only 2 times per year. So what are you waiting for? And I can't wait to see you there.
Thanks for listening to the Webinar Hustlers Entrepreneur Podcast at www.aprilreed.com.